The alien warship floated in the cold silence of space. It was not just metal and engines. It was alive in a strange way. Lights moved across its surface like breathing veins. Many had come to it. Thousands of strong warriors. Thousands of proud leaders. Yet the warship refused them all. Every empire in the galaxy wanted it. They said the ship was the last of its kind. A living weapon from an old war. A war so long ago that even the oldest aliens only told it as myth. But the ship was real. And it was waiting. The councils sent their best. Tall soldiers with armor that could crack stone. Generals who had won countless battles. Scientists with sharp minds. Priests who claimed to hear the stars. One by one, they stood before the ship. One by one, the ship rejected them. When it rejected, it was cruel. The ship would not move. The lights would go dark. Sometimes it would even push the chosen one away with a wave of invisible force. Some were left bleeding. Some lost their minds, screaming as they ran from the docking bay. After a while, fear grew. The best of the galaxy had tried. The best had failed. Whispers began. Maybe the ship was cursed. Maybe it would never accept anyone. Armies camped around it, waiting for the day it woke on its own. But days turned to weeks, and weeks turned to years. Still, the warship slept, rejecting all, far away. On the edge of this great scene, there lived a human named Eli. He was no warrior. He was no leader. He was not even respected by his own people. Eli worked simple jobs. Carrying crates, cleaning tools, fixing broken wires when others were too tired. People barely noticed him. Some laughed at him. Some ignored him. In his heart, Eli carried only silence. He was used to being unwanted. One day, by accident, Eli walked where he was not supposed to go. He was moving boxes near the docking bay. His boss yelled at him, telling him to hurry. In his rush, a box slipped from his hands and slid across the floor. He chased it. That small mistake brought him closer to the warship than he had ever been before. The docking bay was empty. The warriors had left. No one was watching. The warship stood there, huge and dark. Its surface was smooth like stone, but alive with faint lines of light. Eli bent to pick up the box, but as he stood, his hand brushed against the ship's hull. At first, nothing. Then a spark. The lines of light ran faster, brighter, like blood rushing through veins. The whole ship glowed. The air filled with a deep hum, low and powerful, like the heartbeat of a giant. Eli froze. His chest tightened. He wanted to step back, but he could not move. The ship moved. For the first time in years, the alien warship opened. A door formed where there had been only smooth metal. It opened like the mouth of a creature waking from sleep. The hum grew louder. A voice entered Eli's mind, not in words, but in feelings. Warmth, recognition, relief, as if it had been waiting for him all along. Guards rushed in. Their eyes widened in shock. Impossible? One shouted. Another pointed at Eli. He touched it. The human touched it. The council was called. Leaders from many species arrived. They stared at Eli like he was a mistake. A poor human, thin and weak, chosen where they had all been rejected. It made no sense. Anger spread quickly. Some said it was a trick. Others said it was an insult to every proud warrior who had been refused. But the ship did not care. Its lights followed Eli. It would not close its door. It would not calm its heartbeat. To all watching, the meaning was clear. The alien warship had imprinted, and it had imprinted on him. Eli's hands shook. His heart raced. He whispered to himself, "Why me?" But the ship gave no answer. It only pulsed with light, waiting for him to step inside. The crowd grew louder. Some shouted to kill him. Some shouted to study him. Some shouted to throw him back to Earth. Yet the warship ignored them all. For the first time in history, the ship had chosen, and it had chosen a human nobody expected. Asterisk, the alien warship did not let Eli go. From the moment it opened, it followed him like a shadow. Wherever he walked in the docking bay, the ship's glowing vanes shifted in rhythm with his steps. The others stared in disbelief. Generals whispered. Scientists argued. Priests shook their heads, calling it an abomination. But no one could deny what their eyes saw. That night, Eli lay awake in a small metal room given to him by the council. His heart beat fast. He could still hear the hum of the ship in his head. It was soft, like a lullaby, yet heavy, like thunder hiding behind clouds. He closed his eyes, and then images. A battlefield appeared in his mind. Stars burning. Ships exploding. Screams of voices not human. He saw the alien warship tearing through fleets, moving like a beast in rage. Then the vision shifted. He saw a lone figure standing on the bridge of the Shepan alien warrior with silver skin and tired eyes. This warrior was not cruel. He looked broken, lonely, and then, in one flash, gone. The ship drifted empty once again. Eli sat up, gasping. His body shook as sweat dripped down his face. The warship was not just a weapon. It had memories. It had pain. Somehow, it was giving them to him. The next morning, the council called Eli into a chamber. Leaders from 10 species surrounded him. They studied him with cold eyes. "You are a mistake," one hissed. The warship chose wrong. Another leaned forward. "Human, tell us what it showed you. Tell us what it wants." But Eli shook his head. His voice was small. "I don't know. It feels alive. It feels like it remembers." The leaders muttered angrily. Some demanded to separate him from the ship. Others warned that forcing it would destroy them all. At last, they sent Eli away, too afraid to act, yet too proud to accept him. Outside the chamber, Eli walked slowly, trying to calm his thoughts. That was when the warship's voice entered his mind again, not with words, but with clear feelings. Bond, trust, waited. The warmth made his chest ache. The ship was not angry. It was not cruel. It was relieved. Later, Eli returned to the docking bay, drawn by something stronger than fear. The ship's door opened again, silent but welcoming. He stepped closer, trembling. Guards shouted for him to stop, but the warship released a wave of invisible energy that pushed them back. Eli touched the glowing hull, and the hum rose, filling the entire station. Inside his mind, he felt a question. The ship was asking him something, testing him. He saw flashes of destruction again, fleets burning, worlds screaming. But this time, the ship waited for his answer. "I don't want this," Eli whispered, shaking his head. "I'm not a warrior. I'm not strong. Why me?" The ship pulsed with light. In his mind, the broken alien warrior appeared again. Betrayed, alone, rejected, and in that image, Eli saw himself. A poor man, mocked by his own kind, ignored by everyone, always unwanted, always on the edge. His chest grew heavy. He understood. The ship had been searching, not for strength, not for power, but for someone who knew rejection. Someone who carried pain, yet did not give up. The hum softened like a gentle hand on his shoulder. Eli's eyes burned with tears. For the first time in his life, something had chosen him not for glory, not for usefulness, but because it understood him. Outside, the council grew restless. Soldiers demanded to take the ship by force. Priests cried that the galaxy would fall if a weak human bonded with it. But the ship ignored them. Its lights followed Eli like stars moving around a sun. That night, Eli dreamed again. Only this time, the vision was different. He saw stars, but not burning. He saw worlds alive, people laughing, children running. Then he heard a deep voice, low, calm, but strong. It was not in words, but Eli understood. Protect, lead, not weapon. Guardian, he woke with a jolt, gasping for air. His hands shook. His heart pounded. He whispered into the dark, "It wants me to protect. But how can I? I am nothing." But the warship pulsed outside, lights flashing across its body. And deep inside Eli's mind came a single feeling: you are enough. Eli covered his face with trembling hands. For years he had been unwanted. Rejected by people. Rejected by fate. But now, something beyond all reason had chosen him. Something greater than armies. Greater than empires. The bond had been made, and in the shadows of the galaxy, enemies had already begun to move. News of the humans' imprints spread like fire. Rival factions prepared fleets. Mercenaries sharpened their blades. For the first time in centuries, the alien warship had awakened, and it had awakened for a human nobody expected. The galaxy did not stay silent for long. Word spread faster than light. The alien warship had finally chosen. But not a warrior. Not a leader. Not a powerful alien from one of the empires. No, its bond was with a human nobody knew. A weak man. A poor man. A mistake. Across the stars, leaders of rival factions slammed their fists on tables. Unacceptable. They cried. Mercenary clans sharpened their weapons, smiling at the thought of an easy kill. Pirate fleets prepared their engines. And in secret halls, whispers turned into plans. The human must die. The warship must be taken. Eli did not know this yet. He stood quietly in the docking bay, staring at the warship. Its surface glowed like a living star, veins of light pulsing to his heartbeat. Sometimes he felt it was breathing with him. Sometimes he felt it was inside him. The bond grew stronger each day, but peace did not last. One night, alarms screamed through the station. Red lights flashed. Guards ran with weapons ready. Eli rushed out of his room, his heart pounding. He saw soldiers firing down the corridors. Explosions shook the walls. A mercenary ship had broken through the defenses. They had come for him. Find the human. A voice roared through the comms. Bring him alive. Kill everyone else. Eli froze. His legs trembled. He had no weapons, no armor. He was nothing against trained killers. But the warship called to him, pulling at his mind. He ran, guided by the hum in his chest. Bullets and plasma blasts scorched the air, but somehow, he reached the docking bay. The warship's door opened before he even touched it. The hum grew into a roar. I can't fight. Eli shouted. His voice cracked with fear. I don't know how. But the ship answered in feelings, strength, guidance, trust. He stepped inside. The interior was alive, glowing with strange symbols. A chair formed from the floor, wrapping gently around him. His hands hovered over controls, but he did not understand them. He whispered, I don't know what to do. And then, the ship moved. Through his bond, it guided him. His hands pressed where they should. His eyes saw through its sensors. The docking bay walls split open as the warship lifted into space. Mercenary ships turned toward him like vultures smelling blood. Fire on him, they shouted. Beams of red light cut through space. Rockets streaked toward the warship. Eli gasped, closing his eyes. But the ship moved with speed no human could match. Shields lit up like fire. Weapons charged on their own, Eli felt the ship's anger. Not cruel rage, but protective fury. It unleashed blasts of energy so bright they blinded the mercenary pilots. One ship exploded, then another. The rest tried to run, but the warship hunted them like prey. Inside, Eli shook. He did not command, yet the ship fought for him. He heard screams through the comms as mercenaries begged for mercy. He wanted it to stop. "Enough," he cried. "Please, don't kill them all." The ship paused. Weapons cooled. Engines slowed. The survivors fled into the dark, broken and terrified. When silence returned, Eli's chest heaved. His hands trembled against the controls. He had just destroyed ships without lifting a single weapon. He whispered, "What are you turning me into?" But the warship answered again in feelings protector, not destroyer. It had fought because he was in danger. It had stopped because he asked it to. The bond was stronger than ever. Back on the station, the council was in chaos. Some praised Eli, saying only he could control the warship. Others demanded he be executed, warning that a human with such power would doom them all. Fights broke out in the council hall. Old alliances cracked, and in the shadows of the galaxy, enemies took notice. Pirate lords offered bounties for Eli's head. Empires readied fleets to capture the warship. Spies whispered his name into the ears of rulers who had long been waiting for a reason to start war. Eli sat alone in his quarters, head in his hands. His life had been simple once. Carrying boxes, fixing wires, being ignored. Now, entire armies wanted him dead. Entire empires wanted his ship. He whispered, "I never asked for this. I never wanted this." But deep inside, the warship pulsed with a single thought that filled his mind: "You were chosen. And they will come." Eli looked at the glowing ship through the window, fear and wonder mixing inside him. He knew the truth now. The galaxy would not let this stand. The enemies had awakened, and the war had only just begun. The warship glowed in the hangar like a sleeping giant, but outside, the galaxy was boiling. Fleets prepared. Councils argued. Enemies sharpened their blades. All because the ship had chosen Eli, a human nobody expected. Inside the council chamber, voices clashed like thunder. A scaled general slammed his fist. "This weak human is not worthy. Give the ship to us. Our warriors can master it." A tall priest hissed, "The ship's choice is a mistake. It insults our ancestors." Others shouted back, "It chose him for a reason." We cannot fight what is clear. At the center of this storm stood Eli, small and trembling. Dozens of alien eyes glared at him. He lowered his head, his voice shaking. "I didn't ask for this. I never wanted it," the general sneered. "Then why does it follow you? What makes you worthy, human? Tell us." Silence filled the chamber. Eli's chest ached. His mind screamed to run. But the warship's hum filled him with a steady beat, like a heart lending him courage. Slowly, Eli raised his head. "I am not a warrior," he said softly. "I am not a leader. I don't have medals or titles. Back on Earth, I was nobody. I carried boxes for people who never remembered my name. I fixed wires for machines that broke again the next day. No one cared. No one looked at me. Even my own people called me useless." The aliens listened, some with mocking smiles, others with quiet frowns. Eli's voice cracked. "All my life, I was rejected, always on the outside, always unwanted. But the ship, it didn't see me that way. It showed me its memories. It knew rejection too." Gasps spread across the room. "Memories?" One leader muttered. Eli nodded, gripping the edge of the table. His eyes glistened as he spoke. "I saw its last commander. A warrior who gave everything but was betrayed. Left alone, abandoned in the dark. The ship has been waiting not for strength, not for power, but for someone who understands what it feels like to be cast aside. The chamber grew still. The counselors exchanged uneasy glances. For the first time, doubts flickered in their proud eyes. One of the priests hissed, "So it chose pity over power. A broken human over our champions." But before Eli could answer, the warship's hum rose outside. Its glow filled the chamber's high windows. The lights beat in rhythm with Eli's words, as if confirming them. The ship itself declared the truth. The general's face twisted with rage. A mistake. A cursed bond. He turned to the council. "Do you not see? This ship and this human will bring ruin. We must separate them before the galaxy burns." Fear spread through the hall. Some shouted in agreement. Others shouted in defense. The council broke into chaos. Eli stepped back, his breath shaking. Guards drew their weapons. Leaders argued like wild animals. He realized then no matter what he said, most of them would never accept him. They didn't see the bond. They didn't feel the warmth. They only saw a weak human holding power they wanted. Later that night, Eli sat alone in his quarters, staring at his hands. His mind replayed every rejection of his life. The bosses who mocked him. The neighbors who ignored him. The family who turned away. And now, even across the stars, he was unwanted again. But outside his window, the warship glowed gently, pulsing like a heartbeat. Eli closed his eyes and let the feeling wash over him. In his mind, the voice came again. "Not words, but emotions. You are not nothing. You are mine." Tears slipped down Eli's face. He whispered, "Then I'm not alone anymore." The next morning, whispers filled the station. Soldiers grumbled. Merchants spoke in fear. Rumors spread like fire. The human had spoken of the ship's pain. The ship itself had confirmed it. For some, this was proof Eli was chosen. For others, it was proof he was dangerous. And in the dark corners of the galaxy, more enemies listened. Pirate lords laughed. A rejected human. Easy prey. Rival empires clenched their fists. If the warship chose him, we will tear him from it. But the ship pulsed with a steady beat, as if whispering only to Eli. They will not understand. But I chose you, and I will not let you go. Eli stood before the glowing giant, his heart heavy but steady. For the first time in his life, he was not just the human nobody. He was the human the galaxy could no longer ignore. Asterisk. The station buzzed with fear and anger after Eli's words. Some aliens believed him. Others wanted him dead. But there was one group that spoke louder than all the rest, his own kind. The humans' dot ships from Earth arrived at the station the following week. Sleek vessels painted with the banners of Earth's authority. Soldiers marched in with heavy boots. Their leaders wore sharp uniforms and hard faces. They looked at Eli not with wonder, but with cold disappointment. In the council chamber, the human commander spoke first. His voice was sharp like a blade. "Eli, you are to surrender the ship to Earth's government. You are a laborer, nothing more. This is too big for you. Hand it over." Eli's chest tightened. He glanced at the alien council, but none came to his defense. Some even looked pleased. The humans continued. "You embarrassed us. You made Earth look weak. But we will fix this mistake. The warship belongs to us, not to you." Their words cut deeper than any blade. Eli had always been unwanted by strangers, but he thought his own kind would at least stand with him. Instead, they looked at him the same way they always had, like he was less, like he was nothing. He swallowed hard. His voice shook as he whispered, "I didn't ask for this. The ship chose me." The commander's eyes narrowed. Then unchoose you. Step away, or we will take it by force. Gasps echoed through the chamber. Even the alien counselors flinched. To threaten their own man so openly, it showed how little Eli meant to them. That night, Eli was locked in his quarters for his own safety. But he knew the truth. Guards outside whispered about, dragging him away in chains. His own people planned to rip the bond from him. The warship called to him in the silence. The hum filled his bones. He closed his eyes and saw vision soldiers boarding it, trying to cut its living wires, trying to break its will. The ship responded with fury, shaking, burning. Eli gasped. He knew, if they tried, it would destroy them. The next day, the humans moved. Soldiers marched toward the docking bay, weapons ready. Engineers carried machines to pierce the ship's hull. The commander barked orders, his voice hard. Take the ship. If the human resists, remove him. Eli broke past his guards, running down the corridor. Stop, he shouted. His voice cracked, but the warship heard him. Its lights exploded in brilliance. The floor trembled. Waves of energy threw the human soldiers to the ground. The commander staggered to his feet, face red with rage. You dare defy us, Eli? You are weak. You are nothing. Without that ship, you are less than dust. The words hit like knives. Eli froze. His breath shook. Part of him wanted to believe it, because it was what he had heard all his life. Weak, nothing, useless. But then the warship's hum rose louder, filling his chest with steady strength. Its feelings wrapped around him warmth, trust, belonging. For the first time in his life, something truly wanted him. Eli raised his head. His voice no longer shook. I may be nothing to you, but to the ship, I am enough, and I will not abandon it. The warship opened its door. Energy shields flared, keeping the soldiers back. Eli stepped inside. The living chair embraced him, lights dancing across the walls. The hum became a roar. The ship lifted, shaking the station. Stop him. The commander screamed. Human ships outside turned their weapons on the warship. Beams of fire struck its shields, but the ship did not fall. It answered with power so bright the void lit like a sunrise. Yet Eli hesitated. His hands hovered over the controls. He could crush them in seconds. The warship wanted to fight for him. But he whispered, No, I won't kill them. Not even them. The ship slowed. Its weapons cooled. Instead of destroying, it pushed the enemy ships away with blinding energy, leaving them drifting helpless. The humans inside the station shouted curses. The commander's voice thundered in Eli's ears. You'll regret this. You are a disgrace to Earth. We will hunt you. We will never stop. Eli's hands shook, but he stood firm. Then hunt me. I won't give you what you never gave me, truce. The warship sealed itself around him and flew into the stars. The station shrank behind him, filled with shouts of anger and betrayal. His own kind had turned against him, just as strangers had before. But this time, Eli was not alone. The warship's hum steadied his heart. He was rejected by thousands, rejected even by his own people. Yet the ship had chosen him, and together they would face whatever came next in the endless dark. Eli whispered to himself, I am not nothing anymore. And the warship answered with a glow across its veins. Warm. Alive, unbreakable. Asterisk, the stars were no longer quiet. Across the galaxy, fleets gathered. Empires that once hated each other now whispered of alliance. Pirates who once hunted for gold now sharpened blades for blood. All had one goal, the alien warship. All feared its bond with the human, and all swore they would not let Eli keep it. News spread like wildfire. The human controls it. The warship fights for him. Even Earth tried to take it and failed. Every corner of space carried the same story. And every corner prepared for war. Eli sat inside the ship's glowing heart, staring at the endless stars. The bond grew stronger each day. He felt the warship's pulse as if it were his own heartbeat. Its thoughts brushed against his, sometimes soft like whispers, sometimes heavy like storms. He could sense its past, its loneliness, and its hope. But he also sensed something else. Its power was vast, endless, frightening. The more it showed him, the more he feared what he could become. One night, the ship gave him another vision. Stars burning, fleets screaming. Worlds turned to ash. The warship was there, tearing through them all. But this time, Eli stood at the center, commanding, his eyes glowing with the ship's light. He was no longer himself. He was something more, and something terrifying. Eli gasped awake, clutching his chest. His breath shook. "I can't," he whispered. "I don't want to be that monster." But the ship pulsed gently, feelings wrapping around him like a blanket. Protector, not destroyer. Guardian, not tyrant. Still, doubt gnawed at him. If the galaxy came with all its might, could he resist becoming the very thing he feared? His answer came sooner than he wished. Scouts from a rival empire found him first. Their fleet of black steel ships surrounded the warship in the cold dark. Messages blared through comms. "Human, surrender the vessel. You are not worthy. Give it to us or be destroyed." Eli's hands trembled over the controls. His heart screamed to run. But the warship's hum steadied him. He whispered, "No killing. Not if I can help it." The fleet fired. Beams of light and rockets filled the void. The warship's shields flared like a sun. It danced through fire, faster than any pilot could dream. Energy built in its living veins, charging weapons that could rip planets in half. Eli felt the power in his chest, ready to unleash. But he shouted, "Not that. No destruction." The ship listened. Instead of tearing the fleet apart, it released waves of blinding energy that disabled engines and weapons. The black steel ships drifted helpless, their crews staring in shock. Eli's voice trembled as he spoke into the comms. "Go. Live. But don't come for me again." The silence that followed was louder than any battle cry. The enemy retreated, humiliated, but alive. Yet mercy only made the galaxy fear him more. News spread. The human commanded the warship without blood. Some called him merciful. Others called him dangerous. But all agreed he could not be ignored. Back inside, Eli sat with his face in his hands. His mercy had saved lives, but it had also painted a bigger target on his back. Entire empires would come now. They would not stop. They would never stop. The council argued in chaos. Some demanded to ally with Eli. Others plotted to betray him. Old enemies shook hands for the first time, united in fear of one man. The galaxy was no longer divided. It was rising together against him. The warship showed Eli another vision. This time, not of death, but of choices. Two paths stretched before him. One was of fire and destruction, where he crushed fleets and ruled by fear. The other was of light and unity, where he fought not to rule, but to protect. Both paths ended with him standing alone. Eli's heart ached. "I don't want either," he whispered. "I just wanted a quiet life. I just wanted to be someone." The ship pulsed softly. "You are someone." Tears blurred his eyes. For the first time in his life, something believed in him. But belief was not enough. Fleets were moving. War was coming. From the deepest reaches of space, massive armies prepared to strike. They were willing to fight each other yesterday. But today, they marched side by side for one purpose: to take the warship and end the human who held it. Eli looked out at the stars, his chest heavy with fear and resolve. He whispered to the ship, "If we fight together. But promise me one thing. We protect life, not end it." The warship glowed, brighter than ever, a silent promise etched in light. The galaxy was rising. The storm was near. And Eli stood at the center, no longer just a forgotten human, but the spark of a war that would shake the stars. The galaxy gathered its strength. Armies that had once fought each other now stood side by side, united by one fear: the alien warship and the human who commanded it. Fleets stretched across the stars like endless shadows. Billions of lives waited for the signal. The greatest war in history was about to begin. At the center of it all, Eli sat in the living chair of the warship. His hands trembled. His chest felt heavy. Through the bond, he sensed the enemy fleets, thousands of ships charging weapons, engines burning like suns. The galaxy had turned against him. The warship pulsed with power. Its veins glowed brighter than ever. It offered him strength enough to shatter fleets, enough to silence all who opposed him. Images flashed in his mind, worlds burning, armies kneeling, his name whispered in terror. If he gave the word, the galaxy would bow. Eli clenched his fists. The power was there, waiting, begging to be used. But in his heart, fear gnawed. If he unleashed it, he would not be a protector. He would become the monster he had sworn not to be. The enemy fired first. A storm of rockets and beams of light cut across space, a wall of destruction aimed at him. The warship's shields flared. The ship's voice thundered in Eli's mindfight. Destroy, survive. Eli's heart pounded. He screamed, "Not like this." But the fleets closed in. Hundreds of ships surrounded him. He could not run. He could not hide. The galaxy demanded his end. The warship charged its weapons. Its energy roared like a volcano ready to erupt. Just one command from Eli, and the stars would bleed. He closed his eyes. In that moment, he remembered his life before all this, carrying crates, fixing wires, being ignored, always unwanted, always rejected. But he also remembered the ship's warmth, the feeling of being chosen, of being seen for the first time. His voice broke into the silence. I won't answer hate with hate. I won't answer rejection with destruction. If this bond means anything, then let it mean hope. The warship froze. Its power shifted. Its glowing veins calmed. Instead of unleashing death, the ship spread waves of pure light. The energy rushed across the battlefield, not burning, not killing, but reaching. The fleets halted. Weapons dimmed. Soldiers gasped as their systems went silent. The light did not harm them. It only showed them visions. Each captain, each soldier, each leader saw what Eli had seen: pain, rejection, loneliness. They felt the warship's memories, the betrayal of its last commander, the centuries of waiting in silence. They felt Eli's life, his years of being ignored, unwanted, discarded, and then they felt the bond warmth, trust, belonging. The battlefield grew silent. Ships drifted, crews staring in shock. No one fired. No one moved. The light reached them all, showing them not power, but truth. Eli's voice echoed through the comms, soft but steady. I am not a warrior. I am not a conqueror. I am just a man who was always rejected. But this ship chose me, not because of strength, but because I understand what it means to be unwanted. And I say this: no more rejection. No more destruction. I will not lead you with fear. I will stand as a protector, even for those who hate me. The fleets remained still. No one dared shoot. The power they had feared was not unleashed as fire, but as light. Slowly, ships began to pull back. Commanders who had sworn to kill him gave silent orders to retreat. Armies that had prepared for war now stared at the human with awe, confusion, even respect. The warship dimmed its glow, its hum soft like a heartbeat at rest. It had obeyed not the hunger for battle, but the human's wish for peace. The bond was complete. Eli sat back in the living chair, tears burning his eyes. He had made his choice, not to destroy, not to rule, but to protect. Across the galaxy, stories began to spread. Not of a monster, not of a tyrant, but of a human nobody who stood against billions and chose mercy. For the first time, empires looked at each other not as enemies, but as survivors of the same storm. The warship whispered in his mind, not weapon. Guardian, together. Eli nodded, his voice quiet but certain. Together, rejected by thousands, abandoned even by his own kind, Eli had become something greater than anyone expected. Not a conqueror of the galaxy, but its protector. The human nobody had made the last choice and changed the stars forever.